Yeah, very many thanks. Glad to be here, Eugene, and my regards to Nuhu, who just spoke before myself.
Yeah. Well, it's good to have you, but it's not a good time to be a Nigerian now. Super Eagles slipped up again at home. This time, drawing to Zimbabwe at home. Nigeria are now fourth, 3 points ahead of bottom place Zimbabwe and 6 points behind the leader South Africa. This effectively shatters your World Cup hopes. What do you make of the situation as a Nigerian and the prospect of missing out on the World Cup for the second time running?
No, it's a disaster. It's a disaster. There's no other way to put it. It's a disgraceful development, as it were, that we are on the cusp of missing out on two consecutive World Cups. Look, we pride ourselves as the giants of Africa, and we have football heritage on the continent. And even from the world looking into Africa, when you talk football, you cannot travel too far before you make reference to Nigeria. So where we are at the moment, it's a disgraceful situation. It's unfortunate that yeah, mathematically still possible, but if you're looking at it realistically, it's difficult to see how we kick on from here now to make the World Cup. But I am sure that the boys and the team will try as much as they can to see if there is something rescuable from this very sad and sorry situation. Yeah.
Well, okay. After the disappointing home draw against Zimbabwe, we saw the Victor Osmihen, his behavior, throwing his hands around. Obviously, very much disappointed in what had happened. Let's look at the behavior of Victor Osmihen after the loss. First of all, how is it being viewed in Nigeria? And can it cause some disaffection among his teammates? Because first of all, I saw him, Victor Boniface trying to console him. He threw his hands at him. A second player tried to console him. He threw his hands again. How is the situation being viewed in Nigeria, and how can that cause some disaffection among his teammates?
Well, the first thing I want to say is that the same things that make Victor Osimhen great are the same things that also constitutes his hubris as a human being. What I'm getting at is this is a boy who grew from the streets. His way through life, his path to greatness wasn't paved in gold at all. Let me use the word hustle. He hustled from the streets into the football space and into global stardom. So it is this thing that you notice that full time that has also propelled him through all the difficulties to make it to where he is. But again, it is the same thing that you can look at and say, okay, this is where he has his faults as a human being. And he has also had a bit of a checkered history in the last year, 2024, where he had a public Instagram rant against the then coach and the Super Eagles legend, Finidi George, with my personal opinion is that it was uncalled for. But if I should keep this strictly on what happened at full time, I think you can cut him some slack. He's 26 now. He'll be 27 next year. And if he misses the World Cup in Canada, USA, Mexico, he will be 31 at the next chance that he would get to play at a World Cup. Now, this is a player who wears his heart on his sleeves. He gives 110% on the pitch. So he hadn't played any World Cup qualifier prior to match day 5 against Rwanda, and then what against Zimbabwe. And he came in and he scored 2 goals. Now he ran himself to the ground, and when he was being substituted, I think on 85 minutes, he made this gesture. It was like, keep your head in the game, guys. Keep your head in the game. We all know how important this is. And with 5 minutes to go, his teammates couldn't. Not that I am supporting a behavior that can be classified as petulant, but you can understand where his anger is coming from. But that said, no one is without fault, and I think that he should have found a more respectful way of passing across his displeasure. But I think his teammates know him; they know that that's who he is as a person, and I think in a lot of ways he's still a decent guy. Almost also to his teammates, I think all of these issues will be sorted out. They would come to terms with the fact that this is how Victor is when he is angry. I think it's borderline. and it can be managed. Now, there's a debate amongst Nigerian football fans and supporters looking at what happened at full time. Some are saying, "No, this is the thing about this guy. It's petulant. It's uncalled for." But others also recognize that. I mean, as I said before, that's the type of person he is. That same attitude you saw at full time is the same attitude he carries onto the pitch, where he is willing to lay his life down for the country. And maybe he's just disappointed couldn't quite do the same.
Sure. All right, thank you very much, Ona. But kindly hold on whilst we go all the way away from Nigeria. Let's look at the South African team. We've been joined by a presenter and producer joining us from